So when you're starting to see that that can't happen, that's really a good sign. It doesn't feel like a good sign. No, I understand that. I mean, right now I'm going through a big one with my concept of a self, of that I even am a self in any way. And I've known that intellectually that I'm not for some time, but actually living that way, letting go of what it's like to be a self. Whew. And I'm just saying that's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not even sure that's what I'm doing, but it sure feels like it. Feels like I'm dying, but I'm not physically dying. I don't think, and but I am conceptually dying, and I am in mentally as far as intention dying. I'm dying emotionally as far as story making about those emotions dying. And everything seems to be a question mark right now, more and more and more. That is actually a very good place. I've been there on other areas of my life. It's not fun, especially alone when you're not really alone, but when you're alone, it's not fun. And again, why I'm trying to do these group idea, because I don't think it has to be difficult. If one of us has gone through one of these things, all of us can go through, because we already have that information stored. It's a question of vulnerability to all that is and all that we are. When that happens, we start to see that as we're living in the world, we still may do intention. I mean, maybe you have intention, and you feel like you have some mojo for doing things that need to, that you think need to be done. Now that doesn't mean you wouldn't be doing things anyways, but like if you need to do something, you don't necessarily have to think ahead as to whether or not you should do it. There's a lot of things in this world, like, you're going to walk. You don't have to think to put your foot in front of you. You don't have to get out of the way of, you don't have to think to get out of the way of the bus. You don't have to say yes to something that lifts your spirit immediately. You can actually, before you hear your say yes, you could be actually in it. You could be actually in it and seeing how you experience it. The thinking part and the choices that are difficult are to try and control it, particularly if it's about anything about the future or repair of the past, but particularly the future, like even the next moment. When you can't do anything about something, then instead of, there's really kind of three things to do. I guess this is about relationships too. This is all kind of coming to me as I'm doing these videos. There's three ways to approach it. I think this works with this too, I believe. One would be to run, hide, get away from it. Whatever the situation is, whatever you're dealing with, try to get away from it so you don't have to deal with it. Of course, you will have to deal with it again. It'll pop up again. But that's the kind of first thing was, well, I'll just run away, and then, or like you could distract yourself to not deal with it and not deal with your intentions and your broken expectations. You could even pretend that you actually are making them. You could even create a religion that is saying, oh, it's going to give it to me. It's because I prayed for it, or I imagined it, or I did this. I'm just waiting for God to catch up. God's waiting for me to get clearer so I can get that. Or the second one is you can just be crazy still. You can just continue to try to do the same thing that's failing over and over and over again without really doing any inquiry about it. And you can get angry and frustrated and upset, and you can feel like an ugly, you can suffer. You can be an ugly camper because you're trying to do the same thing over and over and over, and you know what the results are, and yet you're still thinking, well, I'm just not doing it well enough. I'm not and you can, that story can go a lot of ways. You can say, well, I'm not good enough yet, or I don't know enough yet, or I haven't evolved enough yet, or whatever you want, whatever story you want to put on it, it'll work to continue doing something crazy and continuing that kind of magical thinking, which is, that's what it is. But and the third way is acceptance. It's always acceptance. It's like Kubler-Ross, when the 5 steps of death and dying. When you're in depression, you can still go back to those other phases. You can still try to bargain. This is the death of anything, not just physical death, but the death of anything, of an idea, of an intention. Right? You can go back and you can go back into bargaining. You can go back into denial or anger about it. You can go back into denial about it. You can't stay as long because you've already spent so much time in there. But it'll eventually lead you back. You're really still in depression. And the only other way out of depression, other than this kind of going back and distract yourself, is to actually accept and die. And that's the beautiful thing. You can accept. And it is a form, of course it's a form of a death, because it's like the letting go of what you have, of what you've been experiencing. And that is what you want, you say, but you may not want to grieve the loss of it and to feel the squirreliness. Like at times I don't like the squirreliness of feeling like, wait a minute, I thought I was doing this and I could do this and this is how I existed in the world. I made things happen. I had motivation to do this. I had a dream. Now I don't have anything. I'm just sitting here going like, noticing me, noticing what's in me, noticing what's around me. I guess I'm doing another one. One more video, I hope. Who knows?